Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Um, well, this episode was a lot. So as you know, the floating rib exploded, and well, two people died. Dev and Dustin. Here's the thing. When I after I finished my last review, went in the shower, came out, and I was looking on social media and stuff like that, and I stumbled across something on Instagram about General Hospital. So I already knew that it was Dev's, or whatever the actor's name is. It was his last day. So I already knew that going into it, but it was a little bit different when I saw it. It was definitely heartbreaking. It was definitely a heartbreaking scene. I'll definitely sit there and say that. I have to sit there and look at his character and be like, well, where was his character going? Because I kind of look at the situation like he was on borrowed time from the time that he got to Port Charles. From the time that he got to Port Charles, because remember, he left where he was because people were after him. And he came to Port Charles, and, they got him set up with a new name and everything like that. But now, at this point, anybody that finds out who he is, I mean, it's a world of trouble for everyone. So, every time that he's there, he's on borrowed time. And, just to add on to his situation, for, let's just say, reasons, he wasn't interested in, Jocelyn at the time, or he didn't hook up with Jocelyn at the time. And he wasn't interested in Trina. So when he got back to being interested with Jocelyn, she moved on. Now, even if somehow it would have worked out, she would have been, into him or whatever. To the outside world, they're cousins. So, even if it isn't by blood, it's still weird. How is that going to work? So, with that being said, I feel like there wasn't really a lot of room for this character to actually go. So, as much of a heartbreaking scene as it was, I'm also like, well, where was he going to go? I don't like characters that what I like to call flounder, that's just there for the sake of being there. So yeah. It's kind of, I don't know, I kind of look at it as bittersweet. Now, Dustin was another character that got killed off. I remember not that long ago, I was sitting there saying, well, you know what, listen, if their face is in the intro, the intro of the show, then they're safe. Yeah, I was wrong about that. There's really nothing else to say, I was just wrong about that. Now, he was another character that was a little heartbreaking to have gone. Killed off. I feel like Dev probably was more heartbreaking just because he was so young. Not to sit there and take away the death, not to sit there and take away anything from Dustin, but that's just my 2 cents. Heartbreaking nonetheless. So, when he gets transported to the hospital, and Lulu has to go, she still has to get checked out. She goes to get checked out, and she's like, Dante, I need you to, just look after him, just to check on him. And, when he talks to him, Dustin's like, she's gonna need you. He just kept saying she's gonna need you. Next thing you know, he flatlines, and that's it. When he goes back to check on Lulu, and Lulu's like, what was that sound? It was written all over his face, and, she asked, what was it, but she already knew. She knew, Laura knew, they were just waiting to hear the words. And of course now she's devastated. And of course, Dante gives her the ring that, Dustin was going to propose. I just look at this like, this whole thing is so... I don't know the reason behind his exit. I don't know if it was his choice. I don't know if it was their choice. But I know there was supposed to be some sort of love triangle that was going to go on. At least that's what they were trying to set up, I imagine. And now it just was like, nope. We're not going to do that. We're just going to make him the winner by default. I don't know. Now, before I really kind of go into Lulu, well, as many of y'all have, many people may know. And if you don't know, I found this out this morning when I was at work. And a customer came up to me. We always sit there and talk about GH or whatever, soap operas and stuff. And she was telling me that the actress, the woman that plays Lulu, is done. She filmed her last scenes, I don't know how long ago, but she's done. Something about, not renewing her contract. I don't know if it was her choice or if it was their choice. I do know that GH has a really bad, rep as far as how they do some of their actors and actresses. Here's the thing, another thing. When I went on her Instagram, the woman that plays Lulu, she was getting tons of messages. She was like, "Yeah, I can't talk about that." Now, some people are they're wondering whether they're going to kill her off or not. Clearly they haven't killed her off yet. They still may do it, but I just think that they're just going to just recast her. I'm not going to lie, if I'm going to be honest, she wasn't exactly my favorite Lulu. She did her job, she was serviceable. I know I'm not saying that right, but she was, she was adequate. I know people who just watched her for the first time, didn't watch the original Lulu, so, they got strong feelings about her, and for them, it sucks. For me, I'm just like, I feel bad for the actress, because between whatever's going on with GH, her not working at GH anymore, and the fact that her landlord, from what I understand, got the house sold her house, just sold her house, so, she's pretty much getting kicked out of her house. She practically lost her job, and now she's going to be, quote unquote, going on like an epic road trip with her family. I'm like, listen, even if I wasn't really too fond of her playing Lulu, it still sucks for the actress in general. It just sucks. There's no other way around it. But yeah, so if people don't know, yeah, the actress that playing Lulu is not going to be there anymore. Unless a bunch of sources got it wrong and I'm wrong, and I'll apologize next one, but I don't really feel like I'm wrong in this one. Now what else happened? They're still continuing, well, they started with the intervention, they had Diane tell her story, and then everyone got news what was going on with the explosion, so they just left. Most people left. Molly was there to sit there and babysit Scout, and Valentine was there for support. Now, when Molly goes upstairs after she, gets a hissy fit with Valentine, he says his letter, and listen, as much as I like Diane's letter, and I thought it was nice and everything, I really liked Valentine's letter, because it was sincere. He doesn't know her, he still considers her family because of what she did for him, and I actually found that pretty touching. I would sit there and say almost tearing up kind of touching. I would sit there and go that far. And I don't really tear up unless I'm watching This Is Us. One Yeah, so it was a good letter. Sam does eventually get, when she gets down there, she wants to go in, and everyone's like, "You gotta wait for the first responders." Listen, I'm not gonna knock Sam at all. You know, as a parent, I feel like you have this invisible thread or whatever it's called with your child, and that's just always gonna be your first instinct. Um, So she is literally fighting tooth and nail to get inside, regardless of rhyme and reason and everything else. She wants to go in there. And then towards the end, Jason shows up, unscratched, no harm, like not even dirt on his hair. And Sam is up. Sam is happy. He tells Sam that Jason dropped Danny off at the Quartermains. Now, I kind of want to go, well, not kind of, I want to go into what Alexis said. So Alexis, after searching throughout the entire house of finding alcohol, she found alcohol, which is really kind of odd because, well, to be fair, I don't think that Sam knew that she was going to be sitting there searching around. So she finds the alcohol, she starts drinking. Valentine's just sitting there, just hanging out. And Alexis is like, listen, I want to sit there and say this to my daughter, but Jason is a magnet for danger. And who knows what's going to happen with Danny, but I want him to grow up and have a normal life. And he can't have that because of Jason. And even though she admires certain qualities about Jason, you got to sit there and look at it. A building was dropped practically on Jason's head to get rid of him. And anybody else that got caught in the crossfire, Dev, Dustin, are dead. And granted, this isn't Jason's fault. He didn't sit there and do this, intentionally. This is Cyrus. But, it's one of those things where it's like collateral damage happened because of Jason just being there. Now, Alexis is constantly sitting there telling Sam, listen, Jason's a danger to your life and to your kid's life. And Sam is all like, listen, I love Jason, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. It's like she learned nothing from Carly. If things would have went sideways and Danny would have got hurt or, heaven forbid, the worst, how much do you think that Sam's attitude was going to change towards Jason and his lifestyle? She would have blamed herself, yeah. She also would have blamed Jason. It's one of those things where it's like, it could have happened, and I don't know, moving forward, how Sam is going to sit there and think and react as far as being in Jason's life and whatever. Now, I know somebody in the comment section was sitting there saying, well, they were talking about Jordan, her being a cop, and so forth and so on. We're not talking about them. We're talking about Jason. And here's the thing. As much as I love Jason, as much as he's my favorite character, and when I sit there and say he's my favorite character, this guy is my favorite character. I remember when I first started watching General Hospital and watching Jason as a character. Let's put it this way. I love this character so much that when I went out clothes shopping, I got a bunch of black t-shirts. This isn't one of them. This is recent. But my point is, that's how much I love Jason as a character. I went out and bought like 20 or 30 black t-shirts. But with that being said, as much as I love that character, as much as he's one, or sometimes Sunny, whatever, as much as he's my favorite character, I kind of got to sit there and point out some flaws. And, it could have went sideways. Just him being around his son. That's the truth of the matter. And we can sit there and debate it and talk about the pros and the cons, and she loves him and he loves her and yada, 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 and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? He presents a danger factor, and it could have went sideways. And I'll just leave it at that. Now, with that being said, Laura was sitting there talking about some sort of file that Cyrus wanted because she killed somebody when she was younger. This predator. And the guy who was going after Laura only went after her as a practical joke to her mother. And so Laura got so upset that she wanted to push this guy on the ground and killing him. But she was a teenager, so, clearly nothing really happened. I don't think. Need some drink. She was sitting there talking to Sonny, and she was like, why would he want that? Sonny was like, leverage. And she was like, it might be more. I think that leverage is a part of it, but it could be more. I mean, listen, the only people that know that Laura's like being mayor was tampered with is Spencer and Valentine. So unless Cyrus gets his hands on, Spencer or Valentine, I don't know if he's actually going to ever know that. So I think that's the next best thing. 1 second. So pretty much everyone else that was caught up in the explosion seems fine. Cameron just has, like a broken leg or sprain. I don't know. Now, the thing with Franco was out for a while, and they're going to have to do surgery on him. But they're going to have to do something as far as removing part of the tumor, and Franco's like, no, because if they remove part of the tumor, then I'm going to be back to my old self, and I'd rather die, and so they have this big back and forth with Liz and Franco about removing the tumor, and I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know if they're going to remove it or if he's just going to be like, no. I guess we'll just have to wait until tomorrow to see. And yeah, with that being said, that's pretty much the end of the review. How many characters do we have leaving so far now? We got, let's see, our actors or whatever. We got Julian. We got Lulu. And those are the actors. I don't know if it's the characters. We got Dev. We got Dustin. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Wow. 1 second. Yes, so that's actually going to do it for this review of GH. Like I said, things are really going off, like the rails. In a good way. In some instances. Yeah, Cyrus is, like, really dangerous. Also, Julian was going to sit there and tell Sam what he did, but Sam didn't give him the chance. But yeah, so Cyrus is really dangerous. Like, he doesn't care about collateral damage. He doesn't care about anything. The last person that was coming after Sonny that didn't care about collateral damage was Lorenzo Alcazar, to an extent. So, for some odd reason, Lorenzo decided to shoot up Kelly's. To get back at Sonny or to kill Sonny, I don't remember. And even Sonny was like, you know what, your son actually goes to Kelly's. I don't know if this was an act of revenge or whatever, but we haven't, we haven't seen somebody come that hard at Sonny since Lorenzo that I can think of. That wouldn't care about collateral damage, so, I can't actually, I was going to sit there and say somebody has to, I wasn't going to sit there and say because the nature, and honestly, to tell you the truth, these people didn't really do anything, but I don't know, I guess to some extent it still kind of, like, stands. Someone has to die in order for others to live, and as far as taking Cyrus seriously, I mean, he literally killed 2 people. He literally killed 2 people. He killed a teenage boy and a school teacher. Okay? I feel like at this point, moving forward, people need to start taking Cyrus seriously. Because as you just saw, Cyrus, he gives no F's about anyone as long as he takes out whatever target he's supposed to take out. And he didn't even do that. So, wow. Anyway, but that's as far as the lengths he would go to. He just doesn't care. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you enjoyed this episode. I feel like it's going to start to get crazy now. I don't know if it's for sweeps weeks or sweeps months or whatever, but I feel like it is getting crazy. I will catch everyone in the next review, and thank you for watching. Also, if you want, please share this video. It really does help. I don't say that often, but it does help. Gets new people into the channel, as well as people who've been watching. I really appreciate it, but also get some new people that may not have been watching. And it's funny, too, because I was actually going to sit there and watch Brock TV's review, but I felt like this one, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want what he said to like influence what I was going to say, as far as my perspective. Okay, I'm done talking. Good day, good night, be safe. I'll catch you in the next review.